everybody, Chris here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you why KDEnlive is pretty much the best video editor on Linux right now. I did try a few others like OpenShot, which are pretty decent, but I found that the features of KDEnlive just kind of trump the other ones that are out there, and it's free, which is great. That's one of the cool things about Linux, all the cool shit is free. So, KDEnlive, one of the things that immediately comes to mind for me, let's move this effect out of the way, is that you see on this track, this video track, it actually shows the audio levels while you're editing your video. And that's really important because if you want to basically make cuts when you go dead for a while, if you're doing tutorials or anything like that, like I am, then you're probably going to have dead periods, and you're going to want to cut that out of your finished video. So if you know that there's a minute in there somewhere where you just went silent, you can easily look at the audio levels, pinpoint that out, and then just do a couple of cuts to remove it. And that just saves you a lot of time because you don't need to go tracking through the video and listen to it audibly. You can just visually see where it is, and that does save time. So, second reason here, you have easy cutting and the ability to remove dead space between clips inside of KDEnlive. This is important because that's probably half of what video editing typically consists of, especially if you're doing YouTube videos like I am. So for instance, going back to the whole cutting thing I was talking about, I can simply go to this track, hit Shift R, and immediately make a cut, no lag whatsoever, and then go over here to this track, do Shift R, get that cut, right click on the tracks, or just hit Delete on the keyboard, and then right click between the space, remove space, and bam, I just edited it, I made the cut. And that took a few seconds, where on other platforms, it may take a lot longer than that. So time saving is a huge deal when it comes to video editing. Third, it ties in pretty well with other Linux-based apps, namely GIMP and Audacity. These aren't exclusive to Linux, but they are pretty much the best stuff that's out there for doing photo editing or audio editing outside of something like the Adobe suite. So, if I want to go ahead and do this. So if I have an image inside of my project bin that I want to actually edit, I can simply left click on this GIMP image over here. Well, it's a thumbnail image. And then I can right click it, go to edit clip, and it's going to open up the default image editor inside of Ubuntu, which for me, because I installed it, is GIMP. So just by taking a couple seconds to load up the application, Yep, okay, here we go. It's going to basically bring that image up for editing right in GIMP, and I can do whatever I need to, draw on it, go right back up to export as, or overwrite, and have that updated for KDEnlive. So that's really quick editing of that. And one complaint I have about some other video editors is that they don't give you a super easy way to extract audio from your previous files. So the way KDEnlive does it, I believe, is it just takes the full audio track from the original uncut. So you want to do this before you start editing, typically. So if I want to take one of my clips, extract the audio, and edit it in Audacity, it's relatively straightforward. I can just select the clip from the project bin, go to Extract Audio, Wave, save this somewhere on the computer, hit OK, and then we can open that up in Audacity, where we can basically remove noise from it or such things. One more thing I really like about KDEnlive is that its effects and transitions library are pretty straightforward and that they work well. So if I want to do a simple fade in and fade out, which is probably 90% of whatever gets used inside of special effects for any video editor, I can just left click on the video clip, or right click it, go down to Effect, Fade from Black, and then immediately I have a pretty smooth transition for that video. And I can go to the end, go to Effect, Fade to Black, and I get the same kind of thing. It's not like that's a really fancy thing. Most video editors have that, but the way that KDEnlive seems to do it is a pretty slick transition. Sometimes it's a little bit fussy with other editors. And as far as the breadth of effects go, I'd say it's pretty comparable to something like, say, Adobe Premiere. And that's saying a lot, because this is, once again, free software and Linux-based. Of course, I haven't had enough time to check out all of the options here, but there sure are a ton of them. And lastly, one thing that KDEnlive has that a lot of other video editors doesn't really have is the ability to screencast or record the screen and audio straight from within the program. So that's what I'm actually testing out in this video. If I deselect all the clips, you can see I have the record option enabled with video and audio checked. You can have webcam checked instead of screen grab, so you have a few options here. And in the configuration, you can play around with this and get the right settings for what you need. Of course, it's not going to be as complicated as something like OBS, but for many people's purposes, just having a recording of the screen is good enough. On this channel, that is good enough for most of my videos. So, all in all, KDEnlive is just pretty sweet. It really fits my needs, at least. So if you are using Linux and you want to do some video editing, I recommend you go ahead and give KDEnlive a try. You can download it straight from the Ubuntu store for free. So yeah, hopefully you give it a try, you like it, and yeah, go from there. Enjoy. So I've been Chris. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, you can consider donating to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you in my future videos.